Join me today as we talk about codifying the DOGE cuts. Are they going to do it or not? Jake Tapper's new book, Original Sin. It's a big cover up and it's going to get exposed sooner than later. Stick around. You just might learn something. Welcome to the Eric T Conversation. I'm Eric T. Well, the big beautiful bill is not so beautiful. And we've talked about this before. And now Congress is still trying to figure out how to cut some more spending out of it, because now Trump sees the bill and he likes a lot of things that are in it. Likes the tax cuts that are in it for no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. But there's also some provisions in there which adds a lot more money to the deficit that we already have. They can't find any cuts. And senators, that there's only 100 of them, are going to vote no on it because of the fact that there aren't any cuts in the spending and adds like 1 trillion onto the debt over the next 10 years. So they got to figure this out. And the problem is Congress isn't really doing their job. They're not. They're like on vacation right now. Speaker Johnson just sent a tweet out about how they're going to start reconciling all these DOGE cuts because everybody on X and social media has been hammering Congress by not doing that. I mean, Elon Musk had his entire company under attack. He was personally had death threats and under attack relentlessly for several months because he was there spending his own money, working for free, trying to save $1 trillion out of wasteful spending, fraud, and abuse out of our government. And what did he get for it? Right now, they got about $150 billion that they've already found of waste, fraud, and abuse. They've got money that's been allocated. They didn't even know where it's at. So the number is probably much higher than that, but they don't know where this money is. So they really can't stop some funding. But all this money that they've been saving needs to be codified by Congress because they do the spending, right? They control the purse, and they're not doing it. They're not voting on it. You know why? Because they're all on the take, every single one of them. And it's laughable because we think it was all on the left that has an issue with it, which the majority of people on the left are the one that were stirring all the problems. But the ones on the right were really quiet about it, weren't they? They weren't saying shit. Some of them were, but a lot of the Republicans weren't saying anything about these DOGE spending cuts because the water gets filtered up into the laundromat and back down. And they don't want to stop the money flow. It's clear as day. And if you think that's not what's going on, I'm sorry, you're extremely naive. Because just by the fact that they aren't voting to stop the spending, it's waste. They've already proven it's waste. They don't want to do anything about it. And that's why everybody on the right is getting pissed off at them and blasting them on social media. I guess Johnson figured out, well, I better do something or we're going to lose the midterms, because the Republicans will absolutely lose the midterms if they do not fix this spending. They will. If they're not voting on shrinking the deficit and still making the cuts to our budget. Some programs got to go, people. Our government got big and bloated over the last 70 years. Like after World War II, got big, fat, and bloated. And the industrial complex made it that way because the big elites and the people that own these billion-dollar corporations make a lot of money when the machine is operating the way they want it to. And now we have a president that's actually paying attention to the X's and O's, and they're trying to get rid of this waste, fraud, and abuse. That something needs to happen. I get it. There's $36 trillion in debt. The debt is never going away. I don't think we're ever going to figure out a way to shrink that. It's going to take something to the fact of taking that money, putting it on some type of blockchain that can help alleviate that debt. The XRP ledger does that really well. If you're not familiar with that, you should look it up, because what it does, it instead of two payments going to different areas, it reconciles payments from this person to that person. It automatically knows who's getting paid and who owes what money. It reconciles these payments very quickly. So if you can put that money on the XRP ledger, that'll help alleviate some of that debt. But it's never going away. And American people don't care about it. They don't. The average worker, guy laying sheetrock, or somebody, doing as a plumber, or somebody working at McDonald's or in a dress shop or in a retail store somewhere, they don't care about that deficit. $36 trillion means absolutely nothing to them. And the politicians can go all day long and keep saying, well, this is going to hurt your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. They don't care. I'm at the point when I don't care. I know it's horrible to say, I believe they need to just get some tax cuts. Get some tax cuts. And some of these government programs are they're going to have to go. I know you don't like that, and some welfare things got to go. But if we get our country operating like it should operate, we shouldn't have all these people on welfare, sucking off the teat of the U.S. government. And everybody will be able to get a job, decent wage, because our country won't be as crappy and ran poorly as it has been over the past, 100 years. You can like or hate President Trump all you want. You can think he's the devil. But I really believe he and his team are actually trying to save this country and the deficit that we are in and trying to help the middleman. And by helping the middleman, it means you got to cut these taxes. It would be nice for people that are working 40, 50 hours a week to not have any payroll tax taken out of their check to help fund the government, because that's insane. At some point, our government needs to start figuring out where this money's coming from and whether it's tariffs, which that's a great idea. I mean, Trump was talking about Apple, telling them, listen, you need to start paying Apple. You need to start building your phones here in the United States. If you don't build your phones here in the United States, you're going to get slapped with a 25% tariff. Now, remember, Apple pays for that. So all those phones that are made in the C country, bringing them back to the U.S., it's going to cost Apple a lot of money to do that. It may cost more than paying people normal good wages here in the United States to make those iPhones. And that's really important. Manufacturing back in the United States, I believe Apple's going to get on board, because if not, it's going to cost them a fortune to get those phones manufactured in other countries. A lot of other things are happening too. We have Jake Tapper's book, Original Sin, that just came out recently. And I just started reading them. I think I'm on chapter 5 or 6. It's very clear there needs to be term limits for people in Congress and Senate. The book kind of starts off by talking about different cognitive declines that Biden probably had during his earlier years as vice president. Talked about different congressmen and senators like Dianne Feinstein that just passed away, I think last year. That was in her late 80s, completely oblivious to what was going on, to the fact that her daughter was actually doing a lot of the voting for her. Mitch McConnell, he's had some terrible moments where he's frozen up in front of a podium and he had to get shaken out of it. That's not normal behavior. That's not normal people that get up there. And if you're in your late 80s, you shouldn't be there, because you get all that power and they love it. Congressional members and senators, they love that power. It's actually better than money. And they get to those points when they have seniority in the Senate and the Congress and they have power. And when you've been there as long as these individuals have been here, you don't want to let it go. Why would you want to let that go? You can help your family out. Every one of their family members is in on it. They all have jobs with special interest groups. They have jobs with lobbyists. They get jobs as assistants or speech writers or chief of staff. They have family members have all these positions. So he's going and breaking it down how these people need to be out of office. He doesn't really say that, but the book breaks down how many people that are still serving in these positions that are clearly old. Now, I get it. Just because somebody is old doesn't mean they can't serve their country. Yes, I get that. But federal judges, I believe the age is 72. I'm not sure exactly what year, but it's 70, 72, where federal judges have to retire. There should be age limits and term limits for people in Congress. And you got to do a cognitive test every so often. Beginning of every term, you should do a cognitive test to make sure all your marbles are intact. And it has to be public knowledge, because if it's not public knowledge, you're not representing the people in your districts or in your state. And that absolutely needs to happen. But it's very eye-opening that it was a huge, massive cover-up about Joe Biden's cognitive decline. And it was happening by everyone. And just yesterday, I believe the crypto czar, David Sachs, said that the people who were running the autopen was Elizabeth Warren, because she's apparently got some hard on for crypto. We don't know what it is. Or I know what it is. I'm assuming, but I have a pretty good take on why I think she's so bent on stopping cryptocurrencies from happening in the United States. Because you can track all of it through the blockchain. All of it. And they don't want that. She doesn't want that. You know why? Because they like getting those bags of money in the trunk of their car, or however they allegedly do it, right? Everybody knows that. And if you put the money being sent somewhere on the blockchain, you can't do that anymore, because we know exactly what wallets it ends up to. But he was saying she was in charge of the autopen for Joe Biden. Now, was she doing everything? I don't know. It seems a lot like the B team in Congress and the members of his staff, the B team on the group, were the ones running that autopen, because it's really starting to make light that some of these pardons that he did shouldn't be valid. Constitution clearly says he is supposed to sign it. He's supposed to sign it. It's not say that he could do autopen or do it absentee. Must be there to sign it. So if that's happening, then who was running the United States for 4 years? It's all going to come out. And they already have a bunch of whistleblowers that are ready to speak. And by the way, here's a news flash. If you are a mediocre person, good-looking person, like average looking, and you got a hot chick ask you out to lunch, you probably shouldn't go. Because every time you guys go, it's somebody from like Project Veritas that are out there videotaping all of you and finding out exactly what you did behind the scenes, because you get a couple of drinks in these people and they like singing like a canary. Eventually, those things are going to come out. We're going to find out who is running our government, because no one's going to take the fall for it. Nobody, when it really comes down to it. We're going to find out who in Biden's family was actually behind the scenes as well. Could be Dr. Jill Biden. She was the one handling him, apparently. So we'll find out all this stuff when it comes out. But Congress needs to start doing their job, because we, the people, aren't behind it. Like Congressman Thomas Massey, he gave a poll, I think it was yesterday, and it says the right way to vote in Congress. And these are his three choices: by principle, by party, by the president. And Spitfire, dog right girl, she responded to him and said, your constituents. And that's absolutely 100% correct. These people in Congress, forget who they work for. You're not supposed to vote your conscience or your beliefs. You're supposed to vote what your constituents want, because they're the ones that put you there. So if the majority of people in your district tell you to codify the DOGE cuts, you codify the DOGE cuts. I don't give a shit what your personal beliefs are. I don't care what the president says. It's what the people that put you in office said. And if they want you to do it, you damn well better do it, or you're going to be out of a job. So these people that get there in Congress and the Senate, they start thinking they run the show. They thinking their opinion matters. It really doesn't. Do I want somebody there that's a complete imbecile? No, I do not. But I want somebody there that's going to actually listen to the people and go to your district. So when you got all this time off, Congress, and you seem to be taking vacations every other day, go to your district, start meeting with people, start having town hall meetings and find out what they really want. And then you go back and you pull the lever what they want. And if it says they want to codify the DOGE cuts, you codify the DOGE cuts. And you better be singing loud and clear that's what you want, because that's what the people put you there for. This is a representative democracy, right? We have representation at the lower levels because we are a constitutional republic. And those people are the ones that we put in place to represent our beliefs and what we want. So Congress, you need to start doing it, because right now you're not doing your jobs, and people are starting to wake up. They're really starting to wake up. And come the midterms in 2026, a lot of you, believe it or not, are going to be out of a job. Toe the line, do what's asked of you by your constituents, and stop trying to vote your conscience. That's not what you're there for. You're to vote for the people. That's it for today. Join me next time for a little chit chat, some observation, as my good old fashioned conversation. Thanks.